The issue is, did the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, use the power of his office and taxpayer dollars to enrich his family to the tune of tens of millions? That's the issue, because that's corruption. The answer seems to be yes, although Biden denied it outright, said it was discredited. All the stuff about Hunter was discredited. That was untrue. Chris Wallace did not correct the record and should have. Now I want to bring in a guy who's been looking at this very, very hard. His name is Mark Hemingway. He's a senior writer at Real Clear Investigations, which is part of realclearpolitics.com. So, what's the headline after all? I think you've been investigating this for years, not months. After all the investigation and all the stats that you have seen, what's the headline about Hunter and Joe Biden? Go.
Well, it's absolutely true that the media just certainly aren't reporting on the extent of Hunter Biden's corruption and how it came about. A few days before the debate, Republican senators released a report showing that Hunter Biden, a firm that Hunter Biden co-founded, had received a $3.5 million wire transfer from the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. And, if you can imagine one of the Trump kids had, received $1 million wire transfer from a Russian politician, how the media would have reacted. In this case, however, I don't think a single major news organization even reported the substance of the claim. And this came from Treasury documents. I realize it was a partisan Senate report, but, nobody's disputing this wire transfer happened. It's just that Biden's people are suddenly claiming that Hunter Biden had nothing to do with this firm. That was, it had long been established by the media that Hunter Biden was a co-founder of this firm that received this money. So it really is a situation where the media are just collectively deciding that if something is going to negatively affect the political race in a way that they don't like, they're just going to choose not to cover it because there was a major media blackout on this.
Okay. Why does it matter whether Hunter Biden got $1 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Why does that matter?
Well, because as we saw with the Ukraine gas company he was on the board of, that he was getting that absurd salary to do that, that he was appointed to that position within a month or two of Biden being made the point person on Ukraine affairs in the Obama administration. There's absolutely no doubt that Russian politicians and the Chinese politicians and Chinese tycoons that have been doing business with Hunter Biden are doing this business, not because Hunter Biden brings a lot of professional experience to the table. No, he seems to have, be a problematic drug addict. They're doing this because it is a way to gain some sort of influence over Joe Biden. I mean, there's really no question about it. And in this case, the multi-million-dollar wire transfer from the mayor of Moscow's wife was for some vague consultancy agreement, like that nobody even understands or knows what it means. I mean, it's clearly a play to hold some sort of influence over the vice president, and the media need to be asking questions about this. Instead, they're just refusing to. I mean, no news is good news as far as.
And that's true. We all know that we have a corrupt media. But did we have a corrupt vice president? Did he use the resources of America? I understand that Hunter Biden traveled to China with his father on Air Force Two. But did the vice president, Joe Biden, use American taxpayer dollars and his position to enrich his family?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this is the role that the media is supposed to play, right? I mean, they're supposed to roll up their sleeves and dig into this and ask a lot of tough questions and make it so that Joe Biden can't escape this sort of thing. The reality is that there's still so much more we need to know. I mean, I've done a handful of big stories on Hunter Biden's corruption. I've done a couple of stories on James Biden, Joe Biden's brother, who was involved in a company that the FBI raided earlier this year. Again, it's very hard to tell exactly where Joe Biden fits into all of this. But at the same time, when you've got two relatives that are involved in corrupt business dealings with some regularity, as is the case with Joe Biden, you'd think the media would be interested to pin down exactly what's going on here.
But
and I don't think necessarily.
They're not interested, but you are. Now, at this point in your investigation, and I'm sure it's ongoing, are you willing to say Joe Biden is corrupt?
I think he is corrupt in the sense that he's known darn good and well what has been going on. This money has been coming into his family, and whether or not it's hard to say whether or not he's partaking from the financial benefits of this at this point in time. But he knows his son is engaged in corrupt behavior that's trading off of his name, and he's done nothing about it. And there were questions raised in the Obama administration by officials in the Obama administration about this, and nothing was done. So yes, I do think that there has been a level of corruption that at least involves Joe Biden covering this up.
All right, Mark, we appreciate it. Real clear politics. You get anything else? Let us know. I think it is an important story.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.